Hello. A question that's often posed is, can you control the narcissist? The simple answer to that is, no, you cannot. You can certainly bring influence to bear in terms of trying to cause the narcissist to do something that you want. However, there is never any guarantee that you will achieve the desired outcome. So, whether you want to cause the narcissist to agree to repay money to you, whether you want them to crown you as the primary source, whether you want them to leave you alone, any of these outcomes and more besides are things that you cannot guarantee ever having happen. Why is that? First of all, it revolves around the question of control. We, as narcissists, are the controllers. We are not the controlled. Our narcissism has developed in order to ensure that we exert control over influences and situations and environments to the greatest effect that we can. Of course, the extent of the success of the exertion of such control will vary depending upon the school of narcissist that you are encountering. A lot of the time, it is, however, highly effective. It has to be. We must control our environments, and that includes the people within those environments, naturally, which includes you. A lack of control for us makes us feel powerless. It makes us feel out of control. It causes repeated difficulties and problems for the narcissist. It makes us feel weak. It takes us to a place that we once were a long time ago and have fought against unconsciously ever since from returning to. Control is fundamental. The narcissist must be in control of his or her environment second by second, day by day. And that is why our manipulations occur. For lesser and mid-range narcissists, those manipulations are unconscious. They are wholly instinctive. They have to be. Those narcissists do not have time to think about what they wish to do. If they were allowed time, the manipulation and its intention would fail. They would not gain control. They do not have the innate ability to think about their reactions. If they do, the reaction would not be successful. Graders operate through a mixture of instinct and calculation. Graders are afforded the ability to calculate purely because they have the ability to deliver. The lesser or mid-range narcissist does not have that innate ability to deliver. If they have to think about it, they would not succeed, and therefore they have to be able to do it instinctively. And that is why you receive so many knee-jerk responses from lesser and mid-range narcissists. Although it may seem like a considered and calculated response from your perspective, that is because of your perspective. The need for control is absolute, and it therefore follows that if you are trying to make us do something, we will inherently pick up on that. Indeed, there are times where you are not actively trying to control us, but from our perspective, it appears to be the case. And that is why so often you face a manipulation thinking that you have done nothing wrong, because you did not realize that what you were doing was exerting some form of control over the narcissist from the narcissist's perspective. Accordingly, if you are actively trying to get us to do something, if you are making a demand, if you are issuing a threat to try to cause us to do something that you require, even if you are being wholly pleasant and considerate in your desire to bring about some kind of outcome, And indeed, the outcome may not be necessarily unpleasant for the narcissist, but where we perceive that you are exerting control over us, we have no option other than to reject that and fight against it. It is ingrained into our very beings. We are the controllers, we are not the controlled. And therefore, if you seek to control us, and therefore guarantee an outcome, we will fight against that. Therefore, it follows you can never achieve a guaranteed outcome. The second reason why you cannot control the narcissist is that you do not know what else is going on in our fuel matrix. For instance, you may think that you're painted white. However, something may happen within the fuel matrix which causes you to be painted black. Let's say, for example, another appliance does something for us which we expect you to do also. They are painted white, you are painted black. Therefore, no matter what you do thereafter, should you remain painted black, whatever you attempt, whether it is submissive, polite, good for us, that you are lavishing us with praise, agreeing to do things for us, you're painted black, and therefore whatever you do is viewed through that black lens. This is often why you will find yourself in a situation whereby you will have done something for us one time and the narcissist approves. You therefore repeat it and found that it is denigrated. That's confusing and bewildering, and quite understandably so. You cannot understand this inconsistency in behaviour of the narcissist. But this is because at one point you were white, then you were painted black. You may not have actually done anything to cause that to occur. It is because there are wheels within the fuel matrix. And the behaviour of the appliances impacts upon the way that the narcissist regards other appliances. And as a consequence, even if you are trying your utmost to please the narcissist, to bring about a particular outcome by being submissive and acting controlled and lavishing us with fuel and residual benefits, it still may not be enough because of what is happening elsewhere within that fuel matrix. Furthermore, even if you're painted white, it may well be the case that the narcissist's needs are being met elsewhere by somebody in the fuel matrix, and therefore the narcissist has no need to call upon you. You remain on the shelf. And therefore, even if you were trying to, let's say, bring about a situation whereby the narcissist engages with you again, takes you off the shelf, spends time with you, possibly with a view to trying to get us to promote you to primary source, and you are viewed white, you still cannot guarantee it happening because another appliance which is viewed white and is servicing the needs of the narcissist is occupying the narcissist's time and attention. Accordingly, owing to the fact that we reject any perception of control and what is also happening within the fuel matrix, which you are unlikely to know about, means you can never, ever guarantee an outcome with regard to the narcissist, and as a consequence, you cannot control us. Of course, the very fact that you are attempting to bring about an outcome with a narcissist, having explained those two reasons why you cannot achieve it, is indeed futile. And once you know that you're dealing with that narcissist, you should obey the first golden rule of freedom, which is, once you know, you go, you get out and stay out. There is no point continuing the engagement. This is because you are likely to find yourself suffering unpleasant abusive behaviour. It's a waste of your time. You are trying to cause something to happen which cannot happen. You are in all likelihood going to be providing us with fuel also. So even, let us say, you think that you're causing merry hell for the narcissist, this continued engagement will mean that you are providing fuel. Your anger at the narcissist, even your insults, your attempts to make us feel bad will be fueled. This is because, particularly if you are interacting with us in person, you cannot help but provide us with fuel. Even if you try to speak to us in a neutral tone, the look in your eyes, your facial expression, your body language will often give you away and will provide fuel to us. So it is completely pointless to try and bring about any control over the narcissist. 1, you just can't achieve it. 2, you're wasting your time. 3, you run the risk of a continued engagement which may result in further abusive behaviours towards you. 4, you may actually be giving us something that we need, namely fuel, and therefore you should not attempt it. Of course, many people do. Many people think that they can manipulate the manipulator. In effect, empathic people are not very good at manipulation. Most manipulators manipulate either 1, instinctively and they do not know that they're doing it, or 2, they extremely Machiavellian type, namely graters, are very good at it, but this takes a tremendous amount of ability. For most people to be good at manipulation, they have to be able to do it unconsciously. All people manipulate to a degree, and most of the time they don't realise that they are doing it. And, of course, empathic people, they will have a degree of manipulation. They do not recognise that they are doing it, but it is not something that is inherent in the way that they behave as necessary to survive, in the way that it is for the narcissist. And therefore, empathic people do not on the whole manipulate often, and the impact of that manipulation is invariably benign. Narcissists, of course, manipulate as a matter of breathing, and, as I have explained, lesser and mid-range narcissists manipulate instinctively. They lack the ability to be able to think about it and have to do it as an innate, instinctive ability of theirs. With greater, it is instinctive, but also we are able to calculate, work things out, plan ahead. Accordingly, if an empathic person wishes to exert control over the narcissist, in essence, they are having to think about being manipulative. This does not come naturally to the empathic individual, and therefore, it is not a skill set that they have, and consequently, not only are you not going to be able to do it because of the reasons of our rejection of control and what else is happening in the fuel matrix, you just do not have the skills to do it effectively. Nor can you learn them either. Your emotional thinking, however, will cause you to think that you can control the narcissist. Where your empathic trait of justice has been offended, so you think a situation is unfair, you may often think that it is right to try and manipulate the narcissist in order to give the narcissist a dose of his or her own medicine. Of course, that seems entirely logical. The narcissist has treated you badly, has in effect misbehaved, and therefore why shouldn't you dole out a taste of their own medicine? Of course, this offends the first golden rule of freedom, and your emotional thinking, seizing upon your empathic trait of justice, wants you to continue your engagement with us and causes you to then think that you can manipulate the narcissist, that you can control the narcissist in some way. You are being misled. You can't do it, you are unable to do it, and you should not do it. In other instances, it might be the case that your emotional thinking is corrupting your empathic trait of wanting to heal and want to fix, that you try to manipulate the narcissist into a situation of getting help. You think you're doing a good thing, but the application of logic would tell you, this person is a narcissist, therefore have nothing more to do with them. Logic tells you you cannot control or manipulate them, therefore have nothing more to do with them. And therefore, where your emotional thinking is telling you, manipulate this person, exert control over this person, whether it be for bad, to get some form of revenge or justice, or for good, to help them, to make them see the error of their ways, to give you closure, or to explain themselves to you. All of that is merely your emotional thinking corrupting your truth-seeker trait, your love-devotee trait, your sense of justice, etc., in order to continue to engage with the narcissist and thus feed your addiction. As I have explained elsewhere, your emotional thinking is not your friend. It masquerades as logic at times. It appears to be logic in order to con you, but it is not. That is why the first goal of freedom is, once you know, you go, you get out and you stay out. It is that simple. It is a very simple litmus test against which you can gauge your own conduct. Is what I am doing bringing about some form of engagement with the narcissist? If so, you are offending that first rule of freedom. Therefore, do not proceed with that course of conduct. Am I going to telephone the narcissist? Yes, you're breaching the rule. Will this mean that I'm sitting around thinking about the narcissist? Yes, you're breaching the rule. Anything that causes you to continue some form of engagement with the narcissist offends this first rule of freedom and therefore should not be obeyed. And that includes anything that is causing you to try and exert control over the narcissist, to influence the narcissist in any way, to bring about an outcome, to manipulate the narcissist. If you continue to think that you can control the narcissist, that you can bring about the manipulation, then one of two things is at play. Most of the time, this is a product of your emotional thinking, as I have just explained. However, it is also the behaviour of a narcissist. Now, do not think just because you might have thought about controlling the narcissist or manipulating them back, this means you are a narcissist. It is not necessarily the case. So do not start to become alarmed thinking, oh, I must be a narcissist because I've tried to get the narcissist back, I've tried to manipulate them. But there are instances where someone who thinks that they can manipulate another individual and, notwithstanding what I have explained to them, continues in that belief, along with other indicators as well, because this belief in itself is merely indicative and not determinative, but somebody who thinks in those ways, there is a possibility that they are a narcissist. And invariably, they will be mid-range in nature, thinking that they are more powerful, more Machiavellian than they actually are. And of course, the mid-range narcissist will believe that they are an empathic individual. They believe that they are a good person. They operate with this facade, which they do not see as a facade, and they feel justified in lashing out against this individual, feeling that they should manipulate and control them, because that mid-range narcissist regards themselves as the victim. So there are instances where individuals who continue to believe that they should be able to manipulate the other narcissist in inverted commas, and of course two narcissists may well clash, but there are instances whereby it is a narcissist who believes that they are the victim and they label the true victim as the narcissist. Most of the time, however, an individual who is the true victim, who has suffered at the hands of the narcissist, but persists in wanting to bring about control in some way by trying to get back with the narcissist, to try to get the narcissist to choose them, to try to get the narcissist to attend therapy, repay money, hand over goods, behave properly with regard to the bringing up of children, etc. In those instances, those are true victims who have been affected by emotional thinking, which is causing them to believe that they can control the narcissist. I gave a simple answer right at the outset of this video. Can you control the narcissist? The answer is no. Have due regard to that. Do not attempt it. Do not waste your time, your energy. Do not put yourself in a position where you are going to fail. Do not put yourself in a position whereby you are likely to face a response where you are lashed out against and suffer further abuse. Cast from your mind any thoughts about attempting to control our kind. You cannot do so. And the one thing that you can control is you. You can control your no-contact regime. Make it strong. Make it robust. And there, by achieving that, you need not be concerned about controlling the narcissist, because you are putting yourself beyond the control of the narcissist. You should not seek to control us. You should look to ensure we cannot control you. That should be your focus.